Okay, today we're going to replace the bearing housing. This component is behind the wheel here. We're going to remove the wheel, push that button in, take it off. And to do this, we're going to need to remove this axle pin here. I like to put some wood underneath the axle pin to brace it, and then knock it out with a hammer and a little punch tool. Then you're going to need to remove these 3 screws on the cover of the bearing and these caps on each side of this part here. Okay, now we've got the axle pin is out, the cover for the bearing is out, and we've removed the 2 caps on each side. Next, we need to remove this Phillips head bolt in here. There's a nut on the other side, but you just need to undo it from this side. And then there's these little spacer pieces. You need to remove those. Now that we've removed the bolt and the little spacer pieces from here, next we're going to remove, there's 2 Phillips head screws in here, and then on the underside there's 2 screws here. Need to remove those. Okay, now we've removed the 2 screws from in here and the 2 screws on the underside, and we need to now work on the cart upside down. So we're going to flip the cart over. We have the cart upside down, and we're going to need to slide the axle this direction. To do that, we need to remove this set screw. Now the set screw is out, we need to slide this collar over and start to pull on the axle this direction. If you rotate the axle a little bit, you'll see there's a little divot here, and we'll get to that later. We slid the axle out. Now this part is loose here, but we still need to loosen up the frame a bit. So we're going to loosen up these 2 screws, this screw. We may need to loosen up a few more to make it enough where this will come off. We've removed these 3 screws here, actually 4 screws. Now this part should be able to come off, and you're going to have to wrestle with it a little bit. Push it all the way over until it comes off, and then it'll slide out. Now you've got this part off, and we need to remove this bearing from here. To do that, you need to hit it on the edge on a block of wood to knock it out of there a little bit. It'll come out just 1/8 of an inch, and then put a little flathead screwdriver down here and push it back and forth, and it will just pop out of there. We're gonna put it back together with the new part. So see, this is the new part. Got the bearing out. We're gonna put it in there, and it just press fits in there. And then we're gonna assemble it back onto here. And notice these holes, they're gonna line up with the holes on the new piece. Here we go. And now we got it lined up. You can see the holes in line there, and we've got it lined up there and there. We'll replace those screws. We're going to install the axle back in. It slides through this bearing housing. And I want you to notice down here there's a little ball bearing in the sleeve of the gearbox. And that's going to meet up with the divot on the axle here. So it's going to be underneath. Don't forget to put the collar on. We're going to slide this through. Match up with the other side here. A little pressure on there. Okay, and then that divot is going to be on the exact opposite side of this hole. So it's going to be on the underside. And then this collar will line up with the hole on this sleeve. Okay. It's difficult to line this divot up with the ball bearing, and you want to plug your battery into your cart here, and then just rotate this around slowly until you see the bearing right there. And then and there's the divot, so just maneuver the divot so it's right underneath that ball bearing, and then it'll push down. Then you can slide the collar over easily. And the collar wants to be, the screw needs to be on the opposite side of the ball bearing. So you want to hold it while it turns. And then, so the ball bearing is on the opposite side of the threaded part where you're going to put the screw in. So we want to put that in, and tighten it up. Tighten it up very good. Now we're going to flip the cart back over like we had it at the beginning and prop up that axle a little bit. We're going to put the axle pin in, and then we're also going to assemble this part back together with the nut and the bolt and put the wheel on, and we should be all done.